One of the things that we did in the past on this committee and through the National Defense Act is criminalize retaliation. To your knowledge, have there been any prosecutions anywhere in the military justice system of individuals for retaliating against those who have brought complaints for sexual harassment or sexual assault? Ms. Pierce?
Good morning, Senator. Apologize for the pause. I didn't hear my name.
I'm sorry. The question is, have there been any prosecutions for retaliation?
Senator, I don't know the specific number, but I believe that is the case. There have been cases where disciplinary action has been taken to address retaliative efforts.
Could you take that question for the record and respond to the committee on those numbers, please?
I'm happy to do so.
I have to say, I want to associate myself with Senator Kane's comments. I'm one of those who joined the committee in 2013, voted against Senator Gillibrand's amendment 3 or 4 times, always saying, let's give the reforms time to work. The numbers just aren't there. The improvement is not showing. It's 8 years. And I think we need to really talk about some more substantial change in the way that this structure works. So I'll look forward to your response on the retaliation question, but I really think we need to take a clear-eyed assessment of what's actually happened based upon the reforms the committee in good faith has passed. And if it isn't bearing results, we're going to have to do something else. Changing the subject, a question for Ms. Pearson and Mr. Whitley. One of our issues that comes up repeatedly before this committee is readiness, particularly readiness of equipment, whether it's a ship or an airplane or a mobile vehicle for the Army. In the modern technological age, one of the technologies that we have now is 3D printing. My question is, do you intend to, through the acquisition process, ensure that we are acquiring not only the piece of hardware, but the intellectual property that underlays that hardware, particularly the specifications and the software that will enable us to 3D print parts on a ship or in a hangar, so that we don't have to wait for parts to come through in order to make sure our planes, ships, and mobile vehicles are ready for action?
Yes, Senator. I don't know the details of what the specific example you're using, but the general conversation I've been part of and I support completely.
So I'm sorry, you support the idea of acquiring the intellectual property as well as the object. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator. There might be instances that I'm not familiar with where an exception would occur, but as a general rule, I agree with what you're saying, Senator.
Ms. Pierce, can you assure us that you'll look for those those rights to the intellectual property in contracts that are entered into by the Army in your case?
Yes, Senator. In terms of my previous experience with F-35 intellectual property questions related to that airframe, I am absolutely committed to ensuring that the department is a good steward of the American taxpayer's dollar, and I am absolutely committed to exploring how we can better acquire intellectual property rights on any contract that I would have the opportunity to review as the Army's chief legal officer.
Thank you. Mr. Manasco, I don't have really a question for you. I just want to thank you and the Secretary of the Air Force for your attention to the Arctic. A recently addressed Arctic strategy for the Air Force, very important, very strategic area of interest for the United States. And I want to thank you for undertaking that. Final question to Mr. Hardy. In the process of military justice, are you concerned at all about political interference that would tend to chill or taint the military justice process, where you go through the process, you have a trial, you have a finding, and then there's a political deus ex machina that changes the outcome? Is this something that you feel any concern about, the possible taint to the integrity of the military justice process?
Senator, the unlawful influence of the command over the military justice system is something that the military has been acutely aware of since the UCMJ first was promulgated by Congress, and they take it very, very seriously, and so do the military courts. They have described unlawful command influence as the mortal enemy of military justice. And so I assure you that the courts take it very seriously, and my experience has been that the Department of Defense takes it very seriously. And I do not think that, that there is a concern in the military courts about political or command influence determining the outcomes of cases.
Thank you. Thank you all, and thank you for your service. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Senator King, and you're the first one to operate your WebEx in a way that made sense.